Have you ever said, "My CPA handles that," and then moved on, only to realize later that handled and fully explored are not always the same thing? Hi, I'm Lehane, author of From Broke to Six Figures, Savers Wealth Advocate and Educator. I help business owners, successful individuals, and families better understand their financial opportunities so they can protect, grow, and keep more of what they've worked hard to earn. And today I want to talk about one of the most common assumptions I hear from business owners. It usually sounds something like this: "Oh, my CPA handles all that." Now, let me say right up front, this is not a criticism of CPAs as a group. There are many hardworking, highly capable professionals out there doing important work. I am not interested in advisor bashing. That is lazy and, frankly, not very useful. What I am interested in is clarity. Because sometimes people use the phrase "my CPA handles that" as if it means every possible opportunity has been thoroughly explored, every relevant strategy has been considered, and every hidden dollar in the tax code has already been politely escorted into the room. That is a comforting thought, but it is not always a correct one. And that distinction matters, because handled can mean a lot of things. It may mean your returns were prepared accurately. It may mean deadlines were met. It may mean compliance boxes were checked. And all of that matters. But does it automatically mean every specialized tax credit, deduction strategy, property-based opportunity, hiring-related credit, or industry-specific possibility has been carefully examined? Not necessarily. And that is where a lot of business owners get caught. They confuse tax preparation with strategic exploration. Those are not the same thing. One is largely about reporting what happened. The other is about asking whether there are opportunities you have not yet seen. And if nobody is doing that second part in a focused way, then valuable things can get missed. Not because somebody is careless, not because anybody is bad at their job, but because different professionals often serve different functions. And if you're assuming one conversation covered everything, you may be giving yourself a false sense of completion. That is the real problem. False completion. That quiet little feeling that says, "Well, I talked to somebody, so I'm probably fine." Maybe you are, but maybe there is more to look at. You see, many business owners are moving fast. They are trying to keep their business healthy, make payroll, manage teams, serve customers, control overhead, and solve problems all day long. So when tax matters come up, they understandably want to believe the whole subject has been fully taken care of. I understand that. Most people are not lying awake at night thinking, "I wonder whether my current tax process has properly evaluated every specialized incentive available under the code." That would be a very unusual bedtime hobby. Most people just want reassurance, but reassurance is not always the same as discovery. And what I want to encourage is not paranoia. It is curiosity, healthy curiosity, the kind that asks, "Has this been prepared?" Yes, but also, "Has this been fully explored?" Those are very different questions, and I have found that many people have never asked the second one. They assume that because a return was filed, everything meaningful must have been looked at. But filing is not the same as uncovering. Compliance is not the same as strategy. And general accounting support is not always the same as specialized tax credit analysis. Again, that is not a criticism. It is simply a recognition that specialized opportunities often require specialized attention. The tax code is full of areas that do not always come up in ordinary conversation. There may be opportunities related to commercial property. There may be opportunities related to how a business hires. There may be opportunities related to improvements, activities, innovation, or industry-specific practices. But those opportunities do not usually reveal themselves because someone casually said, "We've got taxes covered." That's like saying, "I went to the doctor once, so I assume every issue in my body has now been discussed." Well, maybe, but probably not. The point is not to be skeptical of everyone. The point is to stop confusing broad coverage with deep analysis. That is where money gets lost. Not always through dramatic mistakes, sometimes through quiet assumptions. And quiet assumptions can be very expensive, especially when they keep you from asking better questions. One of the things I care deeply about is helping people see what they may not have been shown clearly before. Not because I want to pressure them, not because I want them to feel something has gone terribly wrong, but because once you know what you did not know, you can evaluate your options with a different kind of confidence. And that is valuable. Because confidence built on clarity is much stronger than confidence built on assumption. So if you're a business owner and you have been saying, "My CPA handles that," here is my gentle challenge. Keep appreciating the people who support you, but also ask yourself whether handled has included strategic exploration. Has anyone looked specifically for hidden tax opportunities that may apply to your business? Has anyone examined areas that are commonly overlooked? Has anyone gone beyond preparation and into discovery? If the answer is yes, wonderful. If the answer is, "I'm not really sure," then that uncertainty may be worth paying attention to, because often the value is not in replacing what is already being done. The value is in looking more carefully at what may not yet have been explored. That is a very different conversation, and often a very worthwhile one. So the takeaway today is simple. Do not confuse completed paperwork with completed discovery. Do not assume that because someone handles your taxes, every possible opportunity has already been identified. And do not be afraid to ask deeper questions. Good questions are not disrespectful. They are wise. In the coming videos, I am going to continue showing you where those questions can lead and why specialized tax strategies may deserve a closer look than many business owners have ever given them. If this kind of content is helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will be notified when the next video comes out. And if you know another business owner who keeps saying, "My CPA handles that," share this with them. Not to alarm them, just to lovingly introduce them to the possibility that there may be another chapter in the story. And that chapter may be worth reading